Hey guys, NCSFan001 here, welcome to another one of those weekly trophy list update videos. Today's date is Monday, March 4th, 2019, so that means this will have covered like maybe February 26th. I don't know, because February is a short month and it screws up my counting. So approximately like February 26th through March 3rd. I'll put it in the description of the video, obviously. So anyway, this has been a very productive week overall, I would say. One of my more productive ones recently. So obviously, Far Cry New Dawn, that was done last week. I got that done at some point last week. Very fun game. But more importantly are the other 3 games I worked on. On Saturday, I finally finished The Last of Us. Now officially 100% on PS3. The only trophy I had left was... which one was it? I believe it was this one, yep. Forsaken Survivalist, complete a game of survivors on anything from the Abandoned Territories map. Because for some reason, the Abandoned Territories maps only show up in the DLC playlist, while the Reclaimed Territories DLC maps, because they're also DLC maps, show up in the regular playlists and are not very likely to show up in the Abandoned Territories playlist. It's a really weird system, and even the DLC map playlist tends to get a lot of regular maps to show up as well, but not DLC maps. So I really don't understand a lot of that map programming, map rotation programming, whatever you want to call it, because it's stupid. But it makes boosting a little bit more obnoxious because the game takes forever to match 2 parties of 4 together, even if they're the only 2 parties in the entire world searching in that playlist, like, because no one is ever searching in the DLC playlists. So that's the best place to try to boost some of the stuff at. But anyway, that is finally done. So The Last of Us, finally done. I mean, the main game Platinum is like about a 5 out of 10, I think, because the multiplayer is actually still doable on the PS3. I mean, there's the risk of running into hackers and stuff, but the multiplayer is actually still completely possible on the PS3. There's still enough people playing. I would still recommend boosting it to speed it up, but it is still possible to do legit. So do keep that in mind. So really, regardless of that, the hardest trophies in the game really is completing the game on Survivor and Survivor Plus. It's a bit challenging, but it's nowhere near as bad as Grounded because they give you some amount of supplies. You still have your HUD. You can sneak through a lot of areas. It's much easier, definitely, than Grounded, so that's a good thing. Left Behind is a really easy DLC. It's purely story-related. It's actually a very good DLC. That's what Naughty Dog needs to do when it comes to DLC. Don't make this stupid multiplayer DLC. Make something like Left Behind that's actually really good and has a good story to it. Plus, its trophies are pretty easy because it's all story-related. Or not story-related, but just single-player. I mean, no multiplayer to deal with. Then you have these 2 DLCs, which required you to complete a match on every one of the 8 DLC maps without dying and while getting at least 3 downs or executions. The PS4 version is easier, as it simply requires you to get 5 downs or executions on each of those maps. It doesn't matter how many times you die in the process, and I know the PS4 version is still active enough. If you want to try to do everything legit, I'm sure you can. Just keep in mind, though, that a lot of people still playing have bought DLC weapons, so they've shelled out a little bit of money for those, and some of those weapons are better. And then Grounded Mode. Grounded Mode is not a good experience. It's actually quite challenging at times. So do keep that in mind if you're going to do this. I would definitely recommend, though, if you're going to start one of the versions of The Last of Us, start the PS4 version. Don't even touch the PS3 version. PS4 version's easier, and it's more active, so it's more possible. Then I did all of Spyro 3 in the last week. This one was pretty fun. It's more fun the way that Spyro 2 is, but the nice thing is that the trophies are a little bit easier because there's no 100% trophy in this game, so you don't have to 100% the game this time. So that means the it can be done in under 8 hours. I did it in like 7 hours and 45 minutes or something. And all your trophies are either tied to freeing people in the hub worlds, there are 4 hub worlds, moving through the hub worlds, beating bosses of each of the 4 areas, and then a miscellaneous trophy for each individual mission. And really, none of them are very hard. Like, I would say that of the main story bosses, this first boss was probably the hardest, but he's still not that challenging. I'd say the hardest parts of the game are arguably the Sparks levels, especially the second Sparks level. Where's that one? Yeah, this one, the Spider King, gave me a lot of trouble just because of the way he attacks and the way that you control his Sparks. It would have been much better if it had been done as a twin-stick shooter rather than sort of the way it's set up and you can only really shoot in like 8 directions, and it's not the most well-designed series of levels, but it's still not too hard. I mean, Spyro 3, like I said, even though a couple of miscellaneous trophies are tough, the flight levels aren't too bad. This miscellaneous trophy is very painful because this boss is really annoying, because it can heal itself if you don't hit it enough, and if it hits you at the wrong time, you'll fall into lava, and there's 2 of them, so it takes forever. So that was not a very fun experience. But overall, pretty easy game. The whole Spyro trilogy, if you do all 3 Spyro games, I would say it's around a 3 out of 10 total. And with Spyro 1 being the easiest, Spyro 3 being in the middle, and Spyro 2 being the hardest. And altogether, it's going to take you between 20 and 30 hours to 100% all 3 games. Or platinum all 3 games, because you don't have to 100% the 3rd game to get the platinum. So would definitely recommend those, though. If you can like rent them from Gamefly or something, that's your cheapest option. And then finally, I've been playing Fallout 76. I returned to it because the final mission was finally fixed to where it was doable. So I've only gotten a couple trophies in this past week of playing this, but I've done every trophy up through there, which are all story and some random events and miscellaneous and side quests. Scorched Earth. I actually attempted this for the first time on Sunday, and it is hard. I had a full group because someone decided to nuke that area, so I just decided, hey, I'll go jump down there and try it out and see what happens. And it is hard. It is extremely hard. There were, I would say, around 10 people down there, and a lot of them were over level 100. There was a guy that was a level 224 down there. 224. Sir, why would you play this game that much? And we still couldn't beat it. I mean, we weren't, like, communicating or anything, so no one really knew each other going in, but it's hard. Like, I think we managed to get it to a basically 3rd phase because since the Scorched Queen is a legendary enemy, it can heal itself fully a couple of times, like basically mutating the way the ones in Fallout 4 did. And it can do that twice, and I believe it did do it twice during the fight, but we ran out of time because that's the biggest problem with this fight, isn't even as much that it's difficult, because the Scorched Queen is basically just a high-level Scorch Beast. It doesn't really have any special abilities and attacks and stuff. Nothing that's going to be too out of the ordinary, especially since they made the Scorch Beasts a little easier in recent patches by greatly reducing the frequency of their screeching attack. That just, like, fogs up the screen and gets really, really annoying. So, really, killing the boss and even dealing with all the other enemies in the area isn't really all that difficult. It's doing it in half an hour that's the main problem. So, I don't know exactly what's going to end up happening with this. I mean, I'm going to keep jumping down there whenever I see people doing it, and hopefully I'll be able to eventually get it, but I don't know. This trophy's glitched. I jumped in and out of a team at least 20 times with a partner that helped me do the revive, or not the revive, the kill trophies, because we actually forgot to do the revive trophies. I knew I was forgetting something, but this one glitched on me. I don't know why. It wouldn't unlock despite jumping in and out of each other's team multiple times. I don't know if it's because I was always joining him and never creating the party or what, but this one is glitched, so that's very unfortunate. I'm not sure exactly what I need to do it, but it would at least be an easy thing to boost, especially since I still got to go back and do the trophy for 20 revives, because I've only done like 2. And that one's also very easy to boost. I just need to go pick up some alcohol for it so that I can revive people with alcohol instead of stim packs. Reaching level 100, I'm level 73, I believe. So I'm slowly getting there. It takes forever. It's a very high level requirement. It's very grindy. 20 magazines, I need to figure out a strategy for that, because I know that there's probably an easy way to do it, or at least just look up a guide of where to find a bunch of magazines, because I just haven't bothered with doing that. Beat Ground Zero of a Nuclear Blast. I got that on Sunday, and that trophy, it's actually a little trickier than I thought. You have to be in the blast zone when the nuke hits, and you have to be standing pretty close to where the nuke actually strikes. So you have to get pretty close to the center of the circle when the nuke hits, as I found out. being on the outer fringes of it, even though it kills you, will not unlock the trophy. I'm not sure exactly how close you have to be. So just try to stand directly under where it hits just to be safe and die in the process. Revive 20 players, like I said, I'm just going to probably have to boost that, but that's easy to boost. You can just have 2 players, you just alternate jumping off a cliff. And if you have I believe it's called Quack Surgeon as the perk, it's a charisma perk that allows you to revive each other with alcohol. That's the easiest way to do it because alcohol is fairly plentiful compared to stim packs. Possess 10,000 caps. I'm sort of surprised I haven't gotten this yet. I've got to be getting close though, because it's cumulative. You just have to have had 10,000 caps throughout the course of the game. And then finally finish the story. So I finally finished up the story this past week. So all of that's done, making progress on Fallout 76. So hopefully we'll get there. I mean, I know I'll get the Platinum eventually. I'm not going to leave a Fallout game incomplete. I am sort of holding off, though, until DLCs start to come out. Because when the DLCs start to come out, that gives you more of a reason to return to the game. It gives me more opportunities for quests that can help me get XP faster. And I mean, I spent a lot of Sunday just sort of sitting at one of the workbenches in the game, like the one at the old ammunition factory or weapons factory, converted munitions facility, I think is what it's called, and just sort of sitting around there all day, letting some extractors get aluminum and I believe it was silver and lead. 2 of those are necessary for crafting a lot of bullets, so it's a good way to grind for that. There's also a junk deposit and an oil deposit I didn't hit, but it also has an ammunition fabricating machine that fabricates ammunition over time on its own. Very easy way to get a lot of extra ammunition, so I'm going to do that a little more often. Whenever I play this game, I'll go up there and make sure I do that, and then go about my day on the game, because that'll give me an easy way to grind some extra bullets and stuff. So, with that, level 64, 6%, 15,902 total trophies, 362 platinums, 2,001 golds, 4,019 silvers, 9,520 bronzes. So like you'll hear me say in my Spyro 3 Platinum video whenever it comes out, you know, over 2,000 gold trophies now, over 4,000 silvers, closing in on 10,000 bronzes, closing in on 16,000 total. So very exciting. So over the next week, now that The Last of Us and Spyro are both done, I'll get another Gamefly game. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be working on this week. I'll probably hit a little bit of Fallout 76, probably go back to Spider-Man. We'll see what I get on Gamefly. Probably try to hit a couple of easy platinum trophies as well, because it's been a while since I've done a couple of easier games. I'm sure I will eventually in this week. And then I got to start organizing some kind of boost for some other older games that I want to work on, including Black Ops 1, The Division, with that stupid survival mode trophy, but definitely Black Ops 1, I want to get it done. I want to get Black Ops 2 done eventually, but that's lower priority. I more want to focus on Uncharted 2 and Far Cry 2. And from what I actually heard, someone on like a trophy group that I'm a part of on Facebook actually recently got Far Cry 2 done. And it sounds like aside from the infamous 16-player trophy, I think you can actually, from what he was saying, you can boost all the other trophies for the multiplayer with only 3 people. And if that's true, then that's actually not going to be as hard as I thought. Because I already have 2 PS3s, so that would technically mean I'd only need 1 other person. And that could all speed everything up a little bit. So, and you don't even need 3 people for everything. I think you only need 3 people for the revive challenges and for a couple of like multi-kill based challenges or something. So it's actually looking more possible than it originally was. So you never know. Maybe I will get it done eventually. I mean, that would be kind of nice to have all the Far Cry games done. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you next week.